Our first story, there was confusion at the VVIP bus terminal at the Kwame Nkrumah interchange Wednesday morning when the AMA Rapid Response Unit clashed with operators of the bus terminal over a piece of land where the terminal is sited. Operators alleged the assembly member for the Kokomlimle electoral area, Moses Aboy, is trying to take undue advantage of the change in government to lease portions of the land to party faithful. Speaking to Joy News, regional manager of the terminal, Ni Yemo, says they will vehemently resist every attempt by the assembly member to forcefully confiscate their land.
You go Ghana, it's been going to China. You know they are Chinese people. They are your friends. Ghana goes there to take money every night. You know it. What are you talking about? That's your land. You know what you're doing. Don't be doing those politics. Don't be doing those petty politics. Don't be doing those petty politics here.
What is currently happening is that operators of, the VVIP buses here are making some allegations that the Accra Metropolitan Assembly some way, somehow, are encroaching the property on which they are doing business, and they are not happy with that. We're told that just about a couple of weeks ago, they had signals that the AMA was trying to, raise some containers here at the bus terminal, something they resisted, but it appears the AMA is determined to see through that plan, even though according to operators here, it is not legal.
This morning we are just, doing our normal business, and this gentleman came in an unidentified attire, claiming they are from AMA, and they've been instructed, or they were led by the honorable assembly member here called Moses Aboy, that they want to put some containers, or they want to erect some containers here on our station and on the premises that we have duly acquired. And we found it very, irritating, and we had to also mash up or call all our drivers to resist that the erection of those containers, because it's not right. This issue has been persisting here, or it's been constant from, I think, when we started operations here.
How long have you been here?
Barely close to 10 years and over. And we have documents or legal documents that, gives us the right to be here for some number of years, which we will disclose to you later. This issue has been persisting. This honorable member called Moses has been terrorizing or harassing and interrupting people's businesses, because if you can humbly turn, so we see the new container that is being erected there. It's collected money from which the people have allegedly said that it's collected money from them to erect it, about 170,000 cedis, which we do not have any evidence. That's none of our business, though. We thought the assembly members are development agents or development partners, that they go to the assembly to enact laws. We didn't know assembly members share the allot portions of markets and all those things to people.
So what exactly do you want done right now?
We do not want the interference that the assembly member is doing. It's not right. It doesn't augur well. Let me tell you, I'm a Ghan. This land doesn't belong to those people. All those lands that we have that are called government lands were acquired by an executive instrument through the consent of the landowners or the allodia owners. So the land actually itself, if you go inside deep, it belongs to the stools and all that. Everybody knows that. Yeah. So if the government has acquired the land, and now the land, someone is trading on it, are we here to frustrate businesses? Are we here to kill business? Or we are here to help people?
It will never happen. Because today you have the power, tomorrow you will not have the power again. Go around, see for yourself, see the number of containers, places where they're supposed not to put containers, they put containers all around.
You believe AMA is encroaching your property?
Yes. That is it.
Thank you very much. And I have a...
So, me can't
you give us your name.
Me the Haji Hawa. Me the Haji Hawa. Me turn 2 hours after her. Every time I end this time, I will have say. Say, your Hanuman and we say, oh, my container and snares is honeymoon. And yes, when you're sorry, one say. And I come who you penny for them, so there be almost a monk as I lie with whom. No more dear, I will dear. Now, I said a VVIP life. And to a monk lie with whom. And I would try to tell you, never can I money school fees. And one, and run none Sunday, and see me Baba 19 years. Let's see me Baba 19 years. And now Monday, and see me by 2 years. I put them container out to a container, and the Baba see one.
And I don't have a go. Hey, where are you? I'm going to almost nothing.
Try to get to the bottom of this in subsequent bulletins. The Ghana Committed Drivers and Car Owners Association has given government a 2-week ultimatum to reduce fuel prices or they'll increase transport fares. According to Public Relations Officer for the association, Francis Appiah, it's unfair to stop drivers from increasing fares when the price of fuel keeps going up. Currently, transport fares are reviewed twice every year, while the price of fuel changes every 2 weeks. Fuel price has been increasing steadily since July, rising from 3.77 Ghana cedis to 4.29 Ghana cedis per litre over the period. The drivers and car owners say this calls for an increment in transport fares. Well, Francis Appiah joins me in the studio now for more. Hello, Francis.
My sister.
All right. So today, when you go to the pumps, fuel has increased. Earlier this year, you increased fuel, and you're supposed to do that every 6 months, which means that in August, you were supposed to do that. But what happened? Why couldn't it be done?
My sister, let me say good afternoon to your viewers, and let me greet my colleagues drivers, and let me plead to your viewers that my English is not that good. I'm come to speak drivers English here, so if in case my English is not
it's
that
okay,
good,
we understand. So, that's fine. But you know, normally fuel transport fares go up twice in a year. Why are you threatening to increase fares now?
My sister, the reason why we are threatening the government is that we can't afford it, because if you can remember last year January, and we increased our transport fares. Then we sit with the government, the past government, the old regime, the old government, that every 6 months, that was Honorable VVIP time. We set with them that every 6 months we are going to increase the transport fares. We will go to Aboso kind, then study how the spare parts, then insurance, then other our spare parts, yes, the boy joints, then the oil. We will factor those things, or then insurance. That if those things all is higher, we will add it to the petrol, how the petrol is. Then we will increase the transport fares. Then they didn't allow we increase the transport fares. We kept quiet. They tell us that it's an election year. That was the last year issue. It's an election year. We didn't say anything. Then this year, January to February, we increased our transport fare. Then Ghanaians started complaining that why we drivers in this country we increase the transport fares, because government has reduced the fuel price. Because after the time this current government come now is 185, where this government reduce them to 165 or 160, where we increase the transport fare. Then we tell Ghanaians that it's not our fault. Since past 1 year, we didn't increase the transport fare, but yes, still Ghanaians don't understand.
Then let's talk about the current threat.
Then this
right now.
Current one, as I'm talking to you, is 30% now. They're always using percentage, but we the drivers in this country, we don't use percentage to buy our fuel. We use cedis, cash, kudi. They use money where we buy the fuel. We don't use percentage. So we have seen sat down and see that or if any government come, as for fuel issue, it will go up, but if, as I'm talking to our brothers in Nigeria, because we have colleagues, drivers, who they are drivers in Nigeria. As I'm talking to you, Nigeria past 1 year now, they have been not increased their fuel. It's still stand still.
Okay, well,
then this country, they are continuing increase the fuel. Then if you talk, they will tell us that it's automatic adjustment. That automatic adjustment don't have what do you call it, reverse. You just have a front. You just move. I don't have reverse.
But you just mentioned that earlier this year it was reduced. But you know, according to the GPRTU, transport fares increase only when fuel prices go up by more than 10%. Currently, prices are increasing at an average of 3%. What's the justification for this increase that you want to put up now?
My sister, the road transport operators, that's GPRTU. GPRTU be them they born Ghana drivers and car owners. GPRTU born Protoa cooperative than other unions. You know the reason why these associations all come is because of GPRTU don't speak the truth in this country for the drivers. Somebody who started GPRTU called Opening Kwame MP. She's born at Kumasi. She's a Kumasi guy. Since this union come, every day, what any government come to implement, any government want to implement something to the drivers, the GPRTU accept say, yeah, is okay. If it's not we, the drivers and this drivers and car owners come in, by this time, car drivers, I don't know where we are now. Look at this towing levy issue. We sat with them at transport meeting. Then they will raise their hands, say, oh, yeah, like the way insurance, oh, yeah, everything, yeah, then the drivers are suffering. GPRTU don't buy fuel for the drivers in this country. We sat with them, GPRTU, Protoa, we, then other transport operators. Then we sat with the government. If I'm talking with the government, I means transport minister. Then we sat with them. Then we tell them that we have to do it like that. We have to do it like this, so that the drivers you to move forward. Because let me say 3 here.
You want profit?
Yeah, you want profit. Because as I'm talking to the drivers, the tractor drivers, we make sales 200 Ghana cedis, 2 million tractor drivers per each sprinter. Mates, we will give the mates 50 Ghana cedis.
Is that for the day? Or?
Yes, a day.
Okay.
Then car owner, plenty accident, is because of this higher sales and things. Then petrol, then you buy diesel 300 Ghana cedis, that's 3 million. It's how much? So if the day you don't drive and get more than 7 million old Ghana cedis, 700 cedis and above, you lose with that. That's why it is traffic. Then drivers will drive the shoulder of the road and drive anyhow. It's not their fault. Even the leaders, if you give the throttle to them, I don't think they can make sense. Yes, because our job is hard now. As I'm talking to you, the taxi drivers also is facing the same challenges.
So you are openly defying the GPRTU.
The GPRTU. The reason why we are saying that, not GPRTU will bring transport fares. Not with GPRTU alone. We all
together.
Joy. Then we tell them. And so always, then Ghanaians will say GPRTU. GPRTU is an old transport organization. That's why always you can hear GPRTU. Some people will say GPRTU. Not GPRTU alone will bring transport fare. So we are pleading the government. But
since the fuel increase, have you all met? I'm talking about the stakeholders, Protoa, GPRTU, commuter drivers.
Yeah, we have not met meet yet. The reason why, if they know that if you meet, as I'm talking to you from this studio, I'm going to a meeting at road safety about this towing levy issue. Up to now, it's not done yet, because there are certain things they have to do. I'm going there. I think this issue raised for them. So they have to do something about the fuel. We can't say we have to sit with the minister, always sit the round table. Then if you go to round table, we can't buy the fuel for the round table there. My sister, our problem now is the crew there is $60 or so per barrel.
We appreciate your concern. So 2 weeks you've given the government. If they do not reduce the price of fuel, what would you do?
Oh, in 2 weeks' time, my sister, if 2 weeks' time, if government didn't reduce the fuel, because somebody will say, oh, I buy new home, government don't know anything about it. But government take the taxes from the BDC. The BDC to the Ghanaians. So the moment we will increase our transport fares, but they were saying deregulation now. Am I lying? So if you go to any filling station, everybody is selling different price and things. We don't have problem. Right now, as I'm talking to you, is the filling station I just checked before I come to this studio is per gallon is 20 cedis, 70 pesos. Right now, as I'm talking to you, imagine if the drivers is going to drive. So we won't say anything. The moment we increase the transport fares, it will make Ghanaians start make noise. Oh, I don't afford. You don't care. If the moment they mention that government too will see say the drivers too are suffering, so that they will reduce the fuel. And the moment if we don't talk, they will continue and increase the fuel, BDC too. As I'm talking to you, they are inside this country. As I'm talking to you, Tor, I don't know what Tor was doing.
All right, Francis. So now you're saying that if government by 2 weeks' time doesn't reduce the fuel, you're going to increase the prices of transport fares. So right now, as you're sitting here, are you just throwing the caution in the air, or you are making an official petition to government?
Oh, we are throwing on air so that anybody who is in Ghana, if you call on radio or you are media, or whatever, you tell the government or who is in charge or anybody who is in charge that the drivers are suffering with the fuel.
And you've given them a 2 week ultimatum.
2 weeks. So we don't want, my sister, we will increase the transport fare. Then you say, Ghana, we the commercial drivers, who hold the country. The moment we increase the fuel prices, you can see noise, everything, yam, plantain, everything will go up. As I'm talking to you, Tor is there. Tor 10 like mochia. Do you know mochia? Adiana and was no. And I hear kwahon. They do maintenance, but we don't see that maintenance. All they do. Then BDC will go and bring the distance. Then they will increase the price. Them to they are inside this country. If they don't think about the country, we the drivers too, we don't want to do work where we lost.
Thank you very much.
So we will increase the fuel prices. Transport fares
doesn't reduce.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Lastly, the Uber, I'm saying.
No. That's not what we are talking about. We can do that on a separate day. Thank you very much.
The Uber Francis
Appiah is the PRO of the Commercial Drivers and Car Owners Association, and he's been speaking. They've given government a 2 week ultimatum, saying if they don't reduce the price of fuel, they would increase transport fares. Away from that, Joy News is learning that hundreds of residents in the Brekum municipality of the Puno-Hafu region are arming themselves for a forceful eviction of nomadic herdsmen who've pitched camp there. Though the traditional authorities and the Municipal Security Committee have given the nomads a 30-day deadline to leave the area, residents have warned that any herdsman seen in the area after the deadline will be forced out brutally. Joy News' Ohiming Terrier has been investigating the nomadic herdsman native clash on Joy News' Hotline documentary Violent Shepherds. Here is a report.
In Brekum municipality, the situation can be described as a ticking time bomb. Native chiefs and the people in about 7 communities are arming themselves for a forceful eviction of the herdsmen. Traditional authorities with Municipal Security Committee have extended by 1 month deadline of an eviction order to the nomads. They include Kota, Tilbabi, Abisase and Amankokwa. Others are Akrofro, Mpatasie, Pepase and Akunkrom. A near bloody eviction attempt 2 years ago is at the heart of the current tension. Vast loads of residents of 5 communities, armed with guns, clubs and other weapons, launched crusades against the herdsmen in their camps. Kotahine, Nana Kwaku Bambre into the second, is one of those who led the onslaught.
I organized men from my community, various villages like Mpatasie, Akrofro, Pepase, Bisase, even some from even the Sekwa. We join hands to fight these Fulani people with cutlasses, even some little ammunitions, we can. That fatal day, it took us a hectic time, but we try our best, keep on, but we couldn't fight with these people because they are well armed. Some of them using even like AK-47. So how can we use our local made gun to fight with these people? So we have no option to come back and prepare ourselves properly.
Natives expect the Regional Security Council and the District Security Committee to lead the fight. A September 15, 2017 deadline by the chiefs and the people has been extended to October 16 to give the herders time to prepare and move out voluntarily. Municipal Chief Executive Kofi Ajay says the Security Committee backs the chiefs in the position.
At this material moment, I think it's the best decision because the farmers, they earn their source of income through their farming activities. That is where they use the money to, look after their wards in the secondary schools and the rest. And if their farms are destroyed, where are they going to get the needed money to sponsor their wards in the schools and even when they are sicker? So at this material moment, I think even though it might not be the best solution, at this material moment is the best answer.
Joy News investigations reveal months of advanced preparations by natives led by their chiefs to face off with the herdsmen. Nana Barbrintu says the people can no longer tolerate destruction of crops by cattle.
We'll try to get the police and the military involved, but we're ready to do that again. But by this time, it will go. We'll take another strategy to involve the security agencies on this fight. Then we're ready to do that. But the difference will be the first initial steps. It is we alone. But this time, we wanted to invite the security agencies to assist. So we use the little we have to do this because we have to get our land back. Because our ancestors used their blood and fight for this land for us. So it's our time to reclaim the land back. So the little we have, even the local manufactured guns or what we have, we will use that.
That cannot be ruled out at all because, even within this period, that the nomadic herdsmen were given to leave, the cattle are still causing a lot of distraction to the farmers. But the farmers have adopted a wait-and-see attitude. These days, they said they will not report any case, but just to stay put and watch. And so, you can imagine the way they are stomaching or, accumulating this sort of, anger. When the time comes that they don't leave, it's going to be a different ballgame altogether.
Back in the communities, natives widely affected by activities of nomadic herdsmen and their cattle are feverishly preparing for what they consider the D-Day. Meet 32-year-old Isaac Hene, a young farmer at Kota in the Breku municipality. He has worked all his adult life on a parcel of land he inherited from his father. Like many other farmers at Kota, Mpatansie, Akrofro, Pepase and Ebisase, Hene lost at a go over 1,500 tubers of yam he had harvested. The loss in monetary terms is valued at about 3,000 Ghana cedis.
Near Edia dances in Piano and Semequen and Piano and Woho at Nabura. Just say, Saint Crantia Kurama. Yavia Brukra, you can dance yet as a way and Crantia. Beway and Pibinin and Piana be beard Nipoko in Edia dances, say, and in Piana, everybody. Benia, Ayam one say, Uncle Moviano, Nitinokra, Edenano, Uncle Binka, Bakukra, Uncle. Until Nansunti, last year, my Nabayra. amo sika ni ho amekoto this year make say me ne ba yere po baba ko eno aso no me ye didi ubi se kurema bia be kan de a kire wo nse se na nso ama ho kire pa make say me wura ho kire ma na me bo ma wura ho kire.
The father of two is one of many young men who have vowed to take part in any move to raid the area of nomadic herdsmen by any means.
I say, see, I need and I'm dating and another almost say, or moon from Firan, yet transit no, a besso. So, that time no so, nothing one ever what they are. Mabuni, I am your mother Bequaco Bueni, not or more through her. It's as gentlemen, na, ye crew, and ma, Vinumin free baby. Emma magic assassin emoso. In your try, Mrs. Yameti, the full of one intimate to a pepper. I have one and so yes, and we scarcely see and come to be. And come to be sunset, Coma Kumacha. Sans a bin so coming home, Monsieur Jayadumano. And tis all nursing and the Babano Hobana, Medidi is open.
Fears of potential bloodbath fill the air. It is a tickling time bomb. Superintendent Opario Fosuhine will not downplay the threat, describing the situation as precarious.
The farmers too are resolved that once their only means of survival is farming, they will also protect their farmlands at all costs. And if situation is not taken, if we don't take care of this situation, it will get out of hand, and then there will be a lot of security issues within the area.
Let's focus on education now. Many teenage first-year students of senior high schools in the Ashanti region have been left on their own in private hostels after they failed to secure boarding status following the introduction of the free senior high school policy. Authorities are also denying some of them access to school facilities for evening preps on grounds they are day students. School heads say they will have nothing to do with hostel issues for fear of being sanctioned. Love FM's Erastus Asaridonko has been assessing the situation in schools a week after newly admitted students reported on the various campuses.
Visibly worried parents loiter school compounds with their children, still looking for solutions to accommodation challenges. 15-year-old Christian Yabua from Alajo in Accra was placed in KNUST Senior High School in Kumasi. The school, however, cannot provide him accommodation on campus, as only 150 out of 500 first-year males have boarding facilities. Christian is forced to put up in a private hostel a little over a mile from campus. Unlike many of his colleagues, he has to live on his own, unsupervised, and feed himself. Above all, he cannot attend evening studies in the school.
No, we don't have a preps here. So, but if we go to the KNST hall, the security man said I should get back. So now we are telling the headmistress that she should get a teacher for us so that we can have our own preps here. So
how do you feel about that? You cannot go to your own school for preps in the night, but here you are.
Oh, it's so sad to go to your own school for preps, but here is cool. So,
but why do they not allow you? You mean when you try to go for preps in the evening, the security man will not allow you?
Allow, yes.
Why?
Because he said it is evening, it is late in the night, so we should get back. We haven't been going to preps at all because they consider us like we are day students, so we don't go to preps at all.
How will that affect you if it continues like that?
Oh, it will affect me like they will teach something ahead of me, so I won't be able to get time to study or ask for notes from my colleagues. So
this facility close to the KNUST SHS was initially earmarked to house students, especially from outside Kumasi and the entire Ashanti region, for the sake of supervision. However, authorities abandoned the idea and washed their hands off private accommodation for what they say is fear of being sanctioned. This parent, like many others, is unhappy her 15-year-old son will have to stay all by himself in a private hostel. Cost of hiring hostel accommodation ranges between 300 and 600 cedis per head for a term in rooms with capacity of up to 60 in some cases.
I'm from Accra. My name is Grace Danso. My son got admission at KNUST Senior High. We came there and there was no boarding facilities for us. So we need to rent a hostel for the child. And as a parent, renting a hostel for the child, you know, children of these days, staying with them is very bad. Once you leave them just like that, without care, any care of parents, I'm thinking and I'm hurting because I don't know what will happen if I'm not around. At first, they told us that the school has a hostel, which we normally said, okay, we will rent it. They told us it's 5 something, yeah. But when we came back, they said they have closed it. We, the parents, has reported the teachers to the government, so they have closed that hostel. So we need to go and rent another apartment for the children. And it's not good, because it's not close from the school, because the teachers are not there, only the children's, and we are hurting because I don't know if I leave my children there, I don't know what will happen to him. So I'm thinking, I'm confused.
The Deputy Minister of Trade and Industry, Carlos Ahenkra, says government will soon be putting up appropriate infrastructure in several locations to serve as model markets. This, he says, will also enhance the level of trade in made in Ghana and promote the development of local industries. He was speaking ahead of the Joy Prime Made in Ghana Fair, which comes off on the 24th of September. The fair seeks to showcase the handwork and artisanship of many Ghanaians.
Ghana spends billions of cedis every year importing items such as rice, sugar, wheat, tomato products, frozen fish, poultry, vegetable oil, and other processed items. Not only does this have a negative impact on the economy, but it affects local industries. Over the years, there have been a campaign to get more Ghanaians to patronize items made in Ghana, and efforts are being made to cut down foreign imports. Although the message is sinking in, more work has to go into sensitization. In support of this, Ghana's real entertainment channel, Joy Prime, is organizing the annual Made in Ghana Fair to project the uniqueness and quality of products that are made in Ghana. Ahead of the event, we speak to the Deputy Minister of Trade, Carlos Ahenkra, and the Made in Ghana campaign so far and government's vision.
It is interesting to note that the inter-trade relationship between Ghanaians, or buying and selling within Ghana, does not take the normal format that most developed countries would practice and ensure that monies actually do exchange hands more regularly than you'd have expected. Why do I say this? In Ghana, people trade only for convenience. We don't trade for business. And it is the opinion of this ministry to ensure that people trade amongst themselves much more than they do from now on. First thing that we intend doing is improving the retail infrastructure of this country by putting together nice edifices where people would sell their wares from. For example, we did not know that people would enjoy the sight of malls and so on and so forth. Today, if you see the way people patronize malls, for example, it's quite interesting. People go there and take pictures. People will go there and for sightseeing and so on and so forth. At least they get there, even if they don't buy anything at all, they will buy an ice cream or they will buy something.
Do make a date for the Joy Prime Made in Ghana Fair, which comes off actually tomorrow. That's the 21st of September to the 24th of September. The fair seeks to showcase the artisanship of Ghanaians. My name is Bernice Abubedu. This is Joy News Today.